Now, I get this question a lot, and I realize there isn't a lot of info out there on this. So let's tackle this problem right here and right now and see if we can get you some solutions, which might even be affordable. So, for the purpose of this video, let's zoom out. We can show a bit of what happens behind the curtain. But ignore the mess. Most of this is not supposed to be seen. Now, for a lot of people, the idea of recording a video like this one is the microphone directly in frame. And if you try to distance the microphone, with most conventional mics anyways, you end up taking in more of your environment with your voice. And it can sound really bad, especially since you have to gain up the further away the microphone gets from you. And it only gets worse when you go from a dynamic mic to a condenser mic, as that'll just pick up all of the reflections. But I do have to start this video off with a bit of bad news. Any kind of distance miking does require a somewhat treated room. It doesn't have to be professionally treated, but it does require the space to not be super active. Even with super directional microphones, it will still be picking up room tone and some reflections. So just having a bit of treatment, even stuff like bookshelves or a carpet on the floor, will go a long way. I do have a video on treating your space for cheap. Do check it out. It's right up here. It has some really helpful hints and some really cringy jokes. Now, one benefit to just getting a little bit of treatment in is your audio is going to sound a whole bunch better, whether you have a mic in shot or not. Now, I know this isn't usually what people are referring to when they're talking about the microphone being off frame, but it would be wrong to not cover this option here, because this is probably the cheapest and easiest way to do it. Now, again, treating your space will also help these microphones out, but this setup does require you to know how to treat your audio in post. You see, some EQ and compression will help this setup a lot. And again, I do have a video for that right up here. Now, the main issue is placement for these and the amount of shade you get on your audio. And what I mean by that is stuff that might be between your mouth and the microphone. For example, right now, it's my chin when the mic is down here. This just means you have to do more with the audio in the production end, but it is what it is. You're going to need EQ pretty much on every microphone you use, especially if you want that highly produced sound. But there are some benefits to this system, and that comes down to mobility. Do you need to move around at all? These microphones move with you, and they allow you complete freedom from a standard microphone, and even more so from a shotgun mic. And the best thing about these systems is they come in all shapes and sizes as well as price ranges. And if you get good at using them, you may not need anything else. But I know some people are obsessed with the best possible crispy sound. Okay then, let's expand out a bit. Now, these are not shotgun microphones. They tend to be slightly directional condenser mics, and that's about it. But in a well-treated space, you can end up with some decent audio out of them, and at a really decent price. Take the AKG P170s, for example. Great little pencil mic, and they take up a super small footprint. And again, they don't sound bad. Now, you're still going to want to do some work to the audio, though that is a concern for all audio capture, as I mentioned before. The only real drawback from these microphones is they can't be super far away. Their lack of directionality do mean they're going to suffer the same room ambience coming in with the signal the further away from you they are as this microphone does. But if you've got a tight frame, you can stick them just out of shot and you can get some decent sound. Now here's the big kahuna of options for off-camera miking. These microphones are literally meant for being off camera, as these are one of the main sources of audio for all the media you consume on your TV and movies. And while they are far from infallible, they do give you a lot more intimacy in your audio, even without it being altered. But keeping the microphone off frame is the easiest with these things, and you get a lot more flexibility with placement. You see, mics, like this pencil mic, when you point them in specific directions, it can cause some pretty horrible audio. Like when you point them directly down, you can pick up reflections from the floor, or maybe even the table. Or pointing it up, you can do the same thing. But since you actually keep a respectable distance between you and the shotgun microphone, placing it straight on from over the camera or even off to one side is very plausible. And even when you have to get this microphone in frame, most people aren't even going to notice it, as you can tell right here. Now, there are a couple drawbacks to shotgun mics. First, if you're in a poorly treated room, you can cause phasing with your audio, which just sounds horrible. That's all I'll say. Secondly, you can lose mobility with these microphones as they're intended to pick up audio directly in front of them. So going off microphone, you can have a poor return audio-wise. I mean, it is one of the main draws to these microphones, especially if you're doing content like this. But if you need any mobility at all, you're going to want something else or somebody operating a boom pole for you. And finally, the worst drawback to these microphones has to be cost. A good shotgun mic like the MKH416 from Sennheiser is $1,000. Now, there are cheaper options out there. This, the Rode NTG5, is awesome. It's still a couple $100 or several hundred. But you can get the Synco Mic D2. But you do notice when you go super cheap like that, you can't really guarantee quality one unit to the next. But I do know a lot of people who love theirs. I'm going to list a few below if you want to check them out. Just so you know, all that goes to help support this channel. Which one's your favorite option though? Let me know down in the comments. Cheers guys, and thanks for watching.